Every generation has its own story. In 50 years, we've come from third world to first. Our parents' generation struggled and overcame unimaginable challenges through sheer grit and hard work. And today, we live in a very different world. If our parents' challenges were those of doing, perhaps ours are being challenges. Who will we be in this future? Are we agile enough to dance with this rapid change? Can we find our focus in a world full of weapons of mass distraction? Can we communicate and collaborate in this increasingly global world? In 5 years' time, 75% of Fortune 500 companies will be names that we've never heard of. Thousands of jobs are going to change form. We're going to go from an employee working for a company to our own personal brand, buying and selling our skills and services in the global marketplace. If everything changes, how do we prepare for the future? What are those essential life skills that we need to make sense out of any situation? So these are the questions that we seek to help you with at CFG.
To me, future readiness covers a few aspects, and I will just name 3. The first is really a mindset about belief in yourself, that you can reinvent yourself, that you can be relevant, you can adapt to the changes around you. Some of us will be more visionary, and we can actually be more ambitious, and we want to reinvent the world, just like the people in the Google world and the Alibabas of the world have done. The second mindset is comfortable being uncomfortable. And here I think it's about a mindset that is prepared to take some risks, to learn new things, and be prepared to experience failure at certain times, and have this inner resilience to bounce back from failure. The third mindset, I think, is around connecting and collaborating with other people. In a new world, you can't work in silos. You have to connect with colleagues in your own division, in other divisions, across functions, across countries, across culture. And I think this ability to connect and collaborate will stand out as one of the traits that we'll need for future readiness. When we hire at DBS, we look for people who can fit in with our culture and embrace our pride values. So we look for people with the extra, the special spark, the gumption, the confidence that comes from personal conviction, a strong point of view about how they will do things. So we value people who have opinions, because we believe that diversity of ideas actually strengthen the ideas that we try and create and to bring value to our customers.
I like Keppel. I respect the company a lot because the growth of Keppel mirrors the growth of Singapore. It is very important for every young person, and I've done it quite late, to be honest, to be very clear, what do you want to do? So what is the future like? So if you ask, what does it mean to be future ready, right? If we define it role-based, if we define it materially, it's not going to work. Yeah, we have already come so far. You say third world to first, GDP per capita, income level for fresh grad is fairly high by international standards. How high do you want it to be? You cannot go up forever. The next phase, you have to define your future, not based on material, not based on income, but what really do you want to achieve? It can be something very, very specific. You want to be a wine connoisseur, you want to be someone expert in coffee, you want to be an expert in shipbuilding, in science and engineering in a particular area, in inventing an electric vehicle, in inventing an electric battery, or a battery that can drive a household. What is it that you are really passionate in? You almost need to have a certain obsession. If you have it, it's better. And that will really drive you, and that will really attract people to work with you. It may or may not be the most lucrative career in this world or in Singapore, but it certainly will make your life a lot more meaningful. 学历是铜牌 （bronze medal），能力是银牌 （silver medal）。 人脉是金牌，思维是王牌。So in translation, your academic qualification is the bronze medal. Your capability is a silver medal. 人脉, your EQ and your ability to get along with people, human relationship, that's the gold medal. And your philosophy and your and your worldview, that is 王牌, of which there's no translation.
Black & Veitch is a $4 billion company based out of US and has offices within Asia, all major countries within Asia. What does the future look like? From my perspective, the world is becoming hyper competitive. So either there are nations, companies, individuals. Every level we are looking at a highly competitive environment. We are looking at a lot of uncertainty around the world. We are also looking at a lot of ambiguity because there's a lot of disruptive forces, whether in technology, politics, geography, whichever way you look at it. I think soft skills are extremely important and I cannot overemphasize it. When we hire graduates and we meet graduates in corporate world, even if it is 1 year, 2 years experience, we expect a certain level of soft skills and things like ability to hold a meeting on telecom, ability to work virtually, lead virtual teams. As I earlier said, ability to communicate across all levels in the organization, ability to influence without authority, because your biggest challenge when you're relatively young in your career is to be able to influence people who are more senior, more experienced than you. But it is possible and it is doable. It's just you know how to do it. You have to acquire those skills. So while you are here for 4 years, explore as much as you can about yourself, about what you're doing, your industry of interest, and everything that you're passionate about. Take chances, take risks, try it out. You fail, you have still some time to learn. Once you get into corporate world, the cost of failing slowly goes up. So make the most use of these 4 years and be risk-taking, be creative, be innovative, try out different things and don't worry about failure.
When you think of CFG, think of a toolbox and think of a bridge. So the toolbox represents the essential life skills that you need in order to be prepared for the future. And the bridge represents linking you to employers, to industry, to internships, to job opportunities. All these will be vital in planning your future career. We call our approach roots and wings. Roots are personal skills and wings are interpersonal skills. So root skills are things like, who am I? What are my values? What are my strengths and my challenges? And wing skills are, now that I know who I am, how do I best communicate, collaborate, and interface in this world and serve society? If you have both roots and wing skills, you'll be able to live a happy, fulfilled life, whatever the future may hold.
So today I work for Bank of America Merrill Lynch. I'm a project manager at the bank. I've been there 4 plus years. I first started at the bank as a part of an internship, which was actually through the CFG. It was called the GYM program back then. Yeah, I think the CFG GYM program actually helped me quite a bit in terms of my career, right? When I was running my startup, I was thoroughly enjoying that. But the CFG, one of the things that I realized when I was running my startup is I didn't have any experience working with large companies, which is what prompted me to take up this internship. Before the internship, they actually organized a couple of sessions to ensure that we have the sufficient soft skills and the mindset really to go into the workplace and contribute effectively. I think the main thing that is important for most employees is really all about the attitude. It has to be the attitude to be more proactive at the workplace. My advice is to start thinking early. Career-wise, especially in Singapore, I think there is this culture of starting to think about your career really early on, what you're really passionate about, what you're really interested in. maybe you won't know what it is, maybe you'll not know on your 4th year as well what it is, but it's good to start thinking about it. What really pushes you, what drives you? At the end of the day, when you find something that you're really happy with, it doesn't feel like work anymore. That's what we should aim for.
My name is Darren. I study econs in NUS. Interestingly, this is the first question that I was asked when I met a school counsellor in CFG. So I study econs because I realized that I have a desire for being able to help, help people. I think the motto of econs, that is having unlimited wants and only limited resources, something that is close to my heart, that I hope to be able to help people to overcome such constraints. So I'm interning now at IU Singapore, and for those of you who do not know, IU Singapore has 2 goals. The first goal is to promote Singapore companies overseas, and the second goal is to promote trade in Singapore. I think a student who is future ready is one who has competence in what he learned in school, to have the theories as a foundation for what he does in the workplace, but beyond that, to also be aware of what's happening in the world. I think that's one thing that I learned the most from my internship, actually, to have that awareness of what's happening in the world and to not just live in my own textbook. Being able to communicate in a way that people understand, to be able to understand what's happening in the world and have my own stand on what it is. Whether right or wrong, it's something that I'll learn along the way. My interactions with CFG included the Step Up module. This is a module for Year 3 and Year 4 students. I took it when I was in Year 3, and that gave me a framework to better understand how can I approach my future job. So it included things like learning how to write a resume, how to go to an interview, and how to network. In particular, I sought out Jia Ying, a manager in CFG. I told her about an upcoming interview that I had for my current internship in IU Singapore, actually, and she replied me, and she was willing to meet me up. The practice session with her was immensely helpful. I died once with her, so when I went to the interview itself, it wasn't as bad. I think that the people in CFG are generally wanting to help you. So if I had to summarize my NUS journey and my experience with CFG in a few sentences, I'd like to say that it's been an adventure. That was not down a normal path. It was one filled with off-roads and side roads. It was one filled with walking to the unknown, but knowing that ultimately this environment that I was in was a safe one, that there were friends along the way who would walk alongside you, that there were opportunities and people in the school who really want to help you, and it was thoroughly an enjoyable adventure.
CFG is also a bridge between you and your future career. We organize industry talks, networking events, and careers fairs for you to get familiar with the job opportunities out there.
We are here to guide you and help you unlock your fullest potential.
So feel free to make an appointment with us at CFG.
We look forward to seeing you soon.
The very best way to predict the future is to create it. We invite you to create your future today with us at the Centre for Future Ready Graduates.